Alright, the topic that we chose to do our speech on is animal abuse in Youngstown. Cruelty to animals, also called animal abuse or animal neglect, is the human infliction of suffering or harm upon any non-human animal for purposes other than self-defense or survival. Animals deserve the same amount of respect that people do. They just lack a voice, so it is up to us to be their voice. Animal abuse is becoming more and more common in households all over. It is up to us to be the voice for them so more animals can be saved and less have to suffer. People abuse animals for many reasons, including the following. Some people may have experienced some type of physical violence themselves at some point in their lifetime, and they feel the need to take it out on an animal or pet because they have power over them. This kind of person may have been abused or just might have been mistreated when they were younger, when they were helpless. Now that the person is older and no longer is helpless, they exert their pain onto animals to make themselves feel better. There are many people out there who do not feel as though animals deserve any respect. People believe that animals are a lower form of living things that should be under the rule of a human. People with this thought in their minds tend to act very violently towards animals. Some people just lack education on how to take care of animals. This education should start at home. Parents are the ones responsible for the behavior of their children until they grow up. They need to equip their child with the proper education towards treating animals in a humane way. Some people may also think that animals are toys. They think that animals cannot experience any pain and fatigue whenever they practice violence on them. Once these people are being educated on how to treat animals properly, most of them quickly change their behavior for a better environment for their pets. Most people who abuse their animals are those who want to take advantage of the benefits that people can get from them. These kind of people treat their animals like their own slaves. These people believe that once they own the animals, they can do whatever they want to them. Some of them overwork their animals and leave them with no food at the end of the day. Again, education can modify this behavior into something positive. And then these were just some statistics about animal abuse. Okay, these were just a few different types of animal abuse. As you can see, neglect and abandonment is the highest occurring, followed by shooting, beating, fighting, and stabbing. And some that aren't widely recognized, like mutilation and torture.
All right, so Nitro's Law. Nitro's Law protects more than just the boarding kennels. It also protects animals wherever a kennel has a license in effect. With that being said, there's an exception with the large breeding facilities or puppy mills. It was named after a Rottweiler called Nitro, who was one of 8 dogs that was starved to death at high caliber canine kennels in Youngstown, Ohio. So Nitro was 105 pounds when his family left him there for a couple of months due to a family medical emergency, but was only 50 pounds when he was found. Steve Crowley, who was the man charged with a terrible crime, he was also in charge of high caliber canine kennels, was convicted of 4 counts of animal cruelty and was later sentenced to 4 months in jail. So here's a quick video on Nitro's Law.
Adding Turpin and photographer Fred McKenna explain Nitro's Law, which aims to change that. And we do want to warn you that some of the images we're restoring may be disturbing to some viewers.
Hey everybody, well this is my dog Rudy. My husband and I adopted him last year, and like most pet owners, We certainly cannot imagine our lives without them now. I recently learned that animal cruelty cases in the state of Ohio are only considered misdemeanors, regardless of the severity, which led me to learn about Nitro's Law.
Meet Nitro. Born to a loving family in New York, he was one of 8 dogs starved to death in 2008 at a highly regarded Youngstown dog training facility called High Caliber Canine. Nitro went from looking like this to this. Stephen Crowley, the owner and trainer of High Caliber Canine, spent 4 months in jail. Was that enough? Well, many didn't think so, and Nitro Foundation was formed, led in Ohio by Mike Smith.
He lived on that block, and the kennel was right behind his house. I mean, this wasn't a case of I forgot to feed my dog.
That outrage led to the push for Nitro's Law, which would make animal abuse by a caregiver a felony. Nitro's Law failed when it was first introduced in 2009. It was then reintroduced in 2011 and passed the Ohio House overwhelmingly this February. It now waits for Senate approval, but the clock is ticking until the bill reaches its deadline just 2 months from today. Why the delay? Do our senators think animal cruelty cases should just be misdemeanors? I contacted Senate President Tom Niehaus, and I finally received a response from his press secretary.
Alright, so we can see the importance of implementing Nitro's Law and the sickening images that actually result from that animal cruelty, and why advocating for education about animal cruelty and making this so aware to the public is so important. So, let's talk about no-kill shelters, which are one type of animal shelter. Traditionally, there are 2 types, the classic shelter and then the no-kill shelter, which is an animal shelter that does not kill healthy or treatable animals, even when the shelter is full, reserving euthanasia for terminally ill animals that are considered, and those that are considered dangerous for public safety. A couple facts about no-kill shelters. They gained prominence over traditional shelters after their founding and implementation. They are run almost entirely by volunteers, and they receive their financial assistance from volunteers and from outside sources. That leads to a problem of financial stability for them. And the money to keep the shelter going, like I said, comes from outside sources. Specifically, Alchemy Acres, which we'll talk about in a little bit, is a no-kill shelter that works with the animals. So, quick little clip on no-kill shelters that I'll show.
Meet Kiki, Bella, and Jasmine. 3 special needs pets who are here to help tell you about a revolution that's taking place in America's animal shelters, and that's saving the lives of pets like them. These 3 pets are alive today because of a set of 11 programs called the No Kill Equation that's spreading rapidly through animal shelters all across the USA. As no-kill is getting more common in shelters, intake to animal shelters is falling, and adoption increasing. The result of those 2 things means that more and more animal shelters are experiencing record life saving. In fact, the shelters in all of these communities have save rates of more than 90%, with some of them getting really close to 100%.
Alright, so we can see just how fast this trend of the establishment of no-kill shelters is spreading, and just how important it is to the actual animals themselves. The adoption rates increasing, the animals being saved rather than being euthanized after being there for too long. So, with that, we're going to move on to how can you help.
Okay. So we're going to talk about some solution options. Adoption, educating others on proper animal care, volunteering at your local animal shelters, and report any suspicious abuse. When you see it, report it. So we first need to know the 2 main types, which will be passive. Passive is neglect, failing to take care or keep in good health and well-being. Just providing its food, brushing its hair, giving it a bath. Active abuse is also defined as an intentional act that causes injury or death to an animal, beating it, shooting it, burning it, cutting it, whatever. We need to be familiar with what type of abuse it is. Overall, though, it's still abuse. So some solutions we all can engage in. Here's a statistic. 15 out of 50 states have already made animal use a felony, making the max sentence to 10 years. So what we can do is start teaching children. Teach a child while they are still young. Educational value that owning a pet could have on a child can reduce a problem. Educating ourselves on proper pet care. Every pet is different. A horse might be different from a dog. Just common sense, knowing what it needs for daily living. The most simple ways that you can help solve this problem is by adopting, educating other people, helping out in animal shelters, and reporting the abuse. Adoption could be the best relief to do for anyone looking for a pet. Due to you were another person who took action in taking care of the animals that have been through rough times. This helps the community be able to save a pet and replace the one that was adopted. Educating other people is one of the most important steps when it comes to animal abuse. We need to understand the proper steps to take when it comes to health and well-being of each and every animal. The care required may be different depending on each animal as well. So you can lead missions, humane projects for students, and animal clubs who want to help. Get the word out there. Helping out at animal shelters by purchasing cruelty-free cosmetics, household products, and also participating in animal rescue team training. And sign up to help animals in crisis. Donating any supplies to the shelters are very beneficial. Alchemy Acres is an animal no-kill sanctuary. They go through 1 ton of dog food every 2 weeks. So any type of supplies donated to these animal shelters is helpful. Report abuse immediately. You can sign up to the Humane Society of the United States and receive emails and alerts to get you involved in helping pass state and federal legalization. And post flyers, spread the word. What we did was go to Alchemy Acres, and we volunteered 4 hours. And is there a video? And what we did was take our time out just to give care to these animals that need it. They get volunteers all the time. It's a no-kill shelter. What was interesting is that they provide environmental adoption service to help adopters find the best pet to fit their home. Unfortunately, for the public, Alchemy is unable to provide for people to walk through the kennel buildings. This not only minimizes the liability to the sanctuary, but stress to the animals and ensures safety to both the public and the resident animals. Alchemy Acres is a nonprofit, no-kill animal sanctuary. Alchemy was started in 2004 by a small local family who shared the same passion for helping animals in need. Now in 2013, Alchemy Acres has expanded from a dog rescue to rescue and care of all domestic animals. The amount of animals they care for is over 300 dogs per year, housing 90 at a time. Over 200 cats per year, housing 70 at a time. They provide adequate housing, care, exercise, and enrichment, often individualized based on certain animals' needs. They also provide all of the animals' medical work. All it takes is a little of your time to make a difference. Okay, so as we walked in Alchemy Acres, it was loud. We heard dogs barking just hysterically. They basically were excited to see faces, and they signed us up. And what we did first was go into the cats section, and all we did was give them fresh water and food and just play with them, let them out for a little bit of exercise. All it takes is just a little bit of care in your time. And then we also had walked dogs and took them around the trail. And just for them dogs to get out and exercise was so beneficial because they have so many animals that they have to take care of that they can't get to each and every animal properly. And just by you being there shows these animals love. They have feelings. It's just very beneficial for you just to come in and just give maybe an hour or two of your time just to help out.
Okay. And some of these pictures are just a few of the animals that we saw and a couple of the dogs that we walked. I personally really liked volunteering just because I'm most definitely an animal person, more specifically cats. When we went into the cat part of Alchemy Acres, I just wanted to take all of them home. It was really nice to see how excited all the animals were just to get out and to do our little part in helping out. It's something that I would definitely do again on my own.
I would also definitely do this again. I am also more specifically a cat person. However, when we walked some of the dogs, I instantly fell in love with them. We're taking them all home, if possible. It was a great experience. It was great to see. Weirdly enough, this Sunday, I noticed like the pets' faces just light up the instant that you see them, and that they have somebody to take them on a walk or to give them fresh food or just to play with them for just a couple minutes. So all in all, just volunteering, spending that additional time out of your day, any extra time that you have to either volunteer your assistance with the animals, your supplies, monetary donations, it all really, really benefits them. So thank you very much for listening to our presentation. We hope that this helped influence you to spend a little more time with adoption and assistance of animals, working in animal shelters. Thank you very much.